Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Waodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, INEC declares Biodun Oyebanji of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, the winner of Saturday's governorship election in Ekiti State. Following his victory, Governor Oyebanji pledges to intensify efforts towards delivering greater development and improving the welfare of residents across the state. Civil society organizations and residents of Ekiti State review the conduct and outcome of the governorship election, share their expectations for the next 4 years. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Governor Biodun Oyebanji on his electoral victory, describing the outcome as a strong endorsement of continuity, stability, and people-centered governance. And United States and Iranian officials commenced talks in Switzerland aimed at reaching an initial peace agreement and easing tensions between both countries. We begin tonight with politics, as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Governor Biodun Oyebanji, winner of the 2026 Ekiti State governorship election. The returning officer for the election, Professor Adenike Oladiji, announced this result at the INEC Collation Center in Ado-Ekiti. Our correspondent, Seitope Kuteyi, who's been on ground in Ekiti State, now reports.
Oyebanji Abiodun Abayomi of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
The Independent National Electoral Commission formally announces Governor Biodun Oyebanji as winner of the 2026 Ekiti State governorship election. The declaration immediately sparked celebration amongst APC supporters and party faithful who converged at the Government House in Ado-Ekiti. In an atmosphere of excitement and cheers, supporters erupt in jubilation following the official announcement. Speaking with journalists shortly after the declaration, Governor Oyebanji describes his victory as a reflection of the trust and confidence reposed in his administration by the people of Ekiti State. He expresses deep gratitude to voters for what he calls an overwhelming mandate, pledging renewed commitment to service and development across the state.
I'm humble, and I've been in this state for a while, and this is history in the making, and we continue to serve the people. I have a proper understanding of the responsibility that this has placed on our shoulder, responsibility of service, continuous service to the people, and I assure the people that we will serve them, with courage, with compassion, with humility, and with the fear of God. So they should continue to expect better service from us as we post home in the third term and as we prepare for the second term.
Some APC governors who witnessed the declaration also congratulate Oyebanji, praising his performance in office and the strong backing of the electorate. They describe the outcome as a validation of good governance and continuity in leadership.
The All Progressive Congress, as a party heavily led by President Bola Tinubu, we are very happy and excited that despite all the bickerings here and there, that the president has remained focused, providing leadership, encouraging the growth of our democracy, and then speaking to people and creating an atmosphere that has allowed dialogue for our people to be able to air their views. So Ekiti people have spoken, and I'm confident that Nigerians will also speak by January national election, the presidential election.
We are extremely happy. For us, this is a reflection of how governance should be. First time an Ekiti governor is having another term back to back. And that jinx has been broken now. And Again, for us, this is what 2027 election will look like. For opposition, they can already see the handwritings on the wall. This is what it's going to look like. Nigerians are not stupid. They are not gullible.
Just like my colleagues have said, we are calling on Nigerians and even the people in Ekiti State, particularly, to join hands with the governor. It's all about the progress of the state. He has run a very inclusive government, bringing everyone together, carrying everyone together, irrespective of party affiliation. And I want to call on the people of Ekiti to see this victory as victory for all.
Despite the emphatic victory, Governor Oyebanji says he has reached out to his opponents in the spirit of sportsmanship and inclusion, stressing that the election is over and governance must now take priority.
A while ago, Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR, called to congratulate me after the official announcement of the 2026 Ekiti governorship election. I have also called the candidates of the People Democratic Party, Dr. Wole Oluyede, and the Africa Democratic Congress, Ambassador Dare Bejide. Myself and the chairman of the campaign council will this evening go and visit these two illustrious sons of Ekiti State.
With the polls now concluded and a winner declared, attention now shifts from campaign rhetorics to governance delivery in line with the promises made during the election season. From Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, Eyitokwe Kuteyi, Channels Television News.
And following the conclusion of the governorship election in Ekiti State, residents share their thoughts on the electioneering process and what their expectations are for the next 4 years. Our correspondent, Kumbi Aboluwade, gives us more.
We're currently on the streets of Ado Ekiti in Ekiti State, and we're here to get feelers on what the mood is like and how residents are feeling following the conduct of the governorship election and the subsequent announcement of a winner. A drive through major areas like Post Office, Ejigbo, Okeyeme and Faji indicates a calm and peaceful atmosphere as residents go about their day. The just concluded 2026 Ekiti State governorship election exercise receives commendation from residents as they describe the electioneering process.
We thank God there was no fight or violence. The polling booth I voted at Aishola, the process was hitch-free and good. I voted for Bao because he's a good person and he's working tirelessly in the state. I am happy he won.
Yesterday vote is peaceful vote. They give people chance to vote where you like to vote whom you like without any problem.
With the election over, some of the residents speak on the expectations for the next 4 years.
The main road inside the capital state, make they repair all these roads.
We need security so that we'll be able to sleep well.
Meanwhile, one of the election observer groups who monitor the exercise, Yaga Africa, gives a general assessment of the election while briefing journalists in the state capital.
Yaga Africa's final assessment is that the 2026 Ekiti governorship election recorded notable improvements in election day administration, particularly in the early deployment of officials and materials, timely commencement of accreditation and voting, and the overall peaceful conduct of the process.
Results from the Independent National Electoral Commission shows that the governor and APC candidate, Biodun Yebanji, won the election with 319,224 votes to defeat his closest rival, Oluwole Oluyede of the People's Democratic Party, who polled 40,543 votes. From Ado Ekiti, Kumbi Aboluwade, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Governor Biodo Oyebanji on his victory in Saturday's Ekiti state governorship election, describing the outcome as a clear vote of confidence in continuity and people-centered governance. In a statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onunuga, the president also commended Ekiti residents for the peaceful conduct of the poll, praising security agencies for maintaining law and order throughout the exercise. According to President Tinubu, the governor's first term recorded notable achievements in infrastructure, agriculture, youth employment, education, healthcare, and rural development. He's also asking Mr. Oyebanji to remain magnanimous in victory and to carry all residents along as he builds on these gains in his second term, while also charging INEC to sustain its investment in credible elections ahead of the Osun governorship poll in August and the 2027 general election. Away from politics, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, says that no politician should become president through deceit, insisting that honesty, accountability, and proven record of service remain the true measure of leadership. Mr. Umahi, who stated this during the inspection of Section 2 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Superhighway in Lagos, reacted to social media reports alleging that former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi had promised to stop President Tinubu's legacy infrastructure projects if elected as president. He insists that such a position will be rejected by Nigerians as he accuses Mr. Obi of not being forthright on issues affecting the Southeast, including the Monday sit-at-home order.
You know, I was a deputy governor when my brother Peter, His Excellency, was governor of Anambra State. And he was also the chairman of Southeast, Governors Forum. And I know his position on IPOB. I know the quarrel between him and then Nnamdi Kanu. I know, his feelings and all that he did, which is what he's supposed to do. But he should be man enough to own it and not to come and tell Nigerians, oh, this man did not say anything, just talking, which is harmless, I was governor of Ebonyi State. I was the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum. In as much as the governors of Southeast are doing everything possible and we are backing them to secure a very peaceful Southeast and see how we can politically help our brother Nnamdi Kanu. But nobody should joke with the thousands of Southeast people that we killed, in this respect. He's not been honest to our people. They sit at home on Monday. He has not said anything about it. Just wants to be president by all means, and that is not good for our people. Let us know the truth. Let us know the truth. And this project that somebody says is going to stop, and I hope he didn't say so, I read it on social media. This is very innovative. And I've challenged the Biden movement to tell me, put President Bola Tinubu when he was governor of Lagos State, and they put our brother, His Excellency Peter Obi, when he was governor of Anambra State. Let us see the master plan he made. Let us see him beyond his tenure as governor.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, has honored the Director General of the Department of State Services, the DSS, Mr. Adiola Oluwatosin Ajayi, for his leadership role in strengthening collaboration between security agencies and the media. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the National President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Mr. Alhassan Yaya, says the NUJ's decision to honor the DSS Director General is an affirmation that partnership, openness, and mutual respect between the media and security institutions are vital to protecting lives, preserving democratic space, and advancing nation building. The NUJ National President explains that under Mr. Ajayi's stewardship, the DSS has pursued regular and constructive interaction with media stakeholders.
One of the major highlights of this summit was the decisions on the investiture of the Director General of the Department of State Services, Mr. Oluwatosin Adiola Ajayi. The recognition was merely for the office he occupies, but for the leadership's foresight, commitment he has demonstrated in strengthening the relationship between the media and security institutions in Nigeria at a time when trust, understanding, and effective communications are critical to national security. The Director General has shown remarkable openness to engagement and collaboration. Under his leadership, the DSS has continued to promote constructive interactions between media stakeholders recognizing that responsible journalism and effective security management are complementary pillars of national stability. The support for the initiatives that encourage dialogue rather than suspicion and partnership rather than confrontation has contributed significantly to the creating a more conducive atmosphere for operations in national interest.
In part two, after the break, Bauchi state government inaugurates over 2,000 vigilante operatives and forest guards as part of efforts to strengthen security and protect forest areas across the state. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. INEC declares Biodo Yebanji of the All Progressives Congress the APC winner of Saturday's governorship election in Ekiti State. Following his victory, Governor Yebanji pledges to intensify efforts towards delivering greater development and improving the welfare of residents across the state. The civil society organizations and residents of Ekiti State review the conduct and outcome of the governorship election, share their expectations for the next 4 years. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Governor Yebanji on his electoral victory. He describes the outcome as a strong endorsement of continuity, stability, and people-centered governance. And outside our shores, United States and Iranian officials commenced talks in Switzerland aimed at reaching an initial peace agreement and easing tensions between the two countries. The Bauchi state government has formally inaugurated over 2,000 vigilante and forest guards to protect forests and natural resources, as well as enhance security across Bauchi state. Speaking at the passing out parade ceremony of the police training school in Bauchi, Governor Bala Mohammed asked them to take their assignment seriously, warning the government will not tolerate acts of compromise, misconduct, or abuse of office. Our correspondent Hajara Aliyu reports.
His Excellency will also have a group photograph.
Newly trained vigilante and forest guard personnel in Bauchi State display their parade skills after undergoing 2 weeks of intensive training. More than 2,000 men and women completed the training course at the police training school Bauchi.
His Excellency will also have a group photograph with
representatives of various security agencies, government officials and families are present to witness the passing out parade ceremony.
The school, as one of the recipients of the award,
the commandant of the police training school outlines the courses undertaken by the trainees during the training period.
The areas we are respectively appealing for His Excellency intervention are renovation of the school dormitories, hostel to provide decent accommodation for trainees, provision of boreholes to ensure adequate and constant water supply within the school, construction of 5-sitting capacity lecture theater to enhance teaching, learning, and capacity building in programs.
Also speaking at the event, the Chief Security Advisor to the Bauchi State Government recalls recent security challenges in the state and expresses optimism that the newly trained personnel will contribute significantly to restoring peace and security in communities.
This hybrid approach of our dear state has in no small measure brought relief to the communities of Bauchi State. I want to finally support the effort by ensuring that from time to time, as the Chief Security Advisor to His Excellency, from time to time, we will update them, we will guide them, and I'm sure the community will be better for it.
The governor
who is represented by the Deputy Governor, receives a salute from a special contingent of 100 newly recruited personnel trained under the supervision of the Office of the National Security Advisor.
It is pertinent to remind the newly commissioned forest guard that the uniform they wear symbolizes responsibility, discipline, integrity, and service. They are expected to discharge their duties with utmost professionalism, loyalty, courage, and observe the rule of engagement.
The ceremony concludes with the newly inaugurated guards giving 3 hearty cheers before marching out to assume their new responsibilities. Hajira Aliyu, Channels Television News.
And as courtrooms across Nigeria continue to face heavy congestion and prolonged litigation, stakeholders in Bayelsa State are now pushing for stronger adoption of alternative dispute resolution as a faster and more affordable route to justice. At the second Stakeholders Sensitization Conference in Bayelsa at the Multi-Door Courthouse in Yenagoa, judges, legal practitioners and government officials all called for a justice system that is more accessible, efficient and responsive to both citizens and businesses.
Timelessness, they say, remains essential to justice. Against this backdrop, stakeholders gather to explore ways of strengthening alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, including mediation, arbitration, conciliation, and negotiation. Globally, ADR has become the preferred approach to resolving commercial, family, and community disputes due to its speed, lower cost, and ability to preserve relationships.
When we are having some of these conversations and dialogues, we should take them serious because ADR has come to stay. The Supreme Court now has a mediation center. So if you go there and you get an award or something, what we are trying to do now is how many of those judgments will become one that can help you to become a senior advocate of Nigeria. So it's very important. You cannot. The problem we are having is lawyers will discourage litigants to come. You better encourage them to come because it is for your own good.
The Chief Judge emphasized that not every dispute requires full courtroom litigation, noting that many cases can be resolved more efficiently through alternative processes.
Not every case should go to litigation. And some cases can never even go to litigation. If you consider a typical oil and gas contract that has gone wrong, I tell you, some courts can never resolve those contracts because they are technical. You have to be specifically trained for it. I have sat in an arbitration LNG dispute that the documents produced by the parties were like half this hall. And I'm not joking. This topic is timely. We must reimagine justice in Bayelsa State.
The keynote speaker stresses that a modern justice system must prioritize speed, fairness, and accessibility, especially in a growing economy like Bayelsa's.
The courtroom is not the only door to justice. Mediation is a door, arbitration is a door, conciliation and negotiation are doors. The multi-door courthouse opens these alternative pathways so that disputes can be resolved on terms that preserve dignity, save time, reduce cost, and keep our communities at peace.
The Deputy Governor highlights that strengthening ADR is not only about reducing court congestion, but also about improving access to justice, promoting social harmony, and boosting investor confidence. Stakeholders agree that expanding alternative dispute resolution is critical to easing pressure on the courts, while building trust in the justice system and supporting sustainable development.
It's a tale of two different realities as the boundary dividing Kwara and Osun states. While motorists enjoy a smooth, seamless ride on the Osun side of the border, crossing over into Erinle in the Onyu local government area of Kwara state has turned into a nightmare of potholes and broken promises. Well, residents and motorists say that this neglected stretch of the road is not just destroying their vehicles, it is also choking the local economy and leaving them vulnerable to security threats.
Ilaudo in Osun State is a motorist delight. Here, the asphalt is clean, the traffic flows smoothly, and commerce moves without a hitch. But that comfort vanishes the exact second you cross the boundary line into Erinle, Kwara State. It's an instant transition from smooth tarmac to a cratered wasteland. Vehicles are forced to a literal crawl.
Erinle community is the gateway to the north, and this road has been in this condition, this bad condition, for the past 2-3 years now, and we have been doing a lot. We have been consulting government agencies, the Federal Ministry of Works, FEMA. We have written a lot of letters. We have submitted letters to them that they should come and assist us to do this road, because the road has become an havoc to the commuters and the community.
Ironically, a faded, rusting project signpost stands by the roadsides, declaring that this contract was awarded long ago. But on the ground, there is absolutely no evidence of taxpayers' money at work. With the rainy season now at its peak, navigating this axis has become a lot tougher for commercial drivers and haulage operators. Beyond the compounding financial toll of shattered shock absorbers and broken axles lies a far darker fear: insecurity.
And the time of insecurity now, which is we were targeting our movement, and it does not give us a free movement to move.
The economic paralysis is visible. Erinle's once vibrant transit economy is drying up.
The
road has been in bad shape for years. It has been affecting us as passengers now prefer other routes to Osun State instead of Erinle.
In the absence of government intervention, local youth have stepped into the gap. Armed with shovels and raw determination, they harvest sand from nearby bushes to temporarily plug the holes, surviving entirely on the voluntary tips of grateful motorists.
I borrow Jiga, I borrow Sofe, I borrow Epa Pan. So that all the money they give us, I go settle them for outside. So that any amount remain, I just share to 2,000, 1,000. I don't see anybody government to help us.
Okay. Now we are appealing to the government, the federal government of Nigeria, under the able leadership of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to please come to our aid. This will have become a death trap for us.
For Erinle, this road is a lifeline that has been left to decay. The collective cry from this border community to the federal government is to fix the road before the economy of Erinle completely collapses.
And as part of efforts to improve access to quality education and support post-insurgency recovery, the Borno State government has established and rehabilitated several primary, secondary and tertiary institutions across the state. The intervention includes the construction of modern schools equipped with classrooms, laboratories, ICT centers, libraries and solar-powered facilities, all aimed at improving teaching and learning outcomes. In the special report, Channels Television's Musa Mustafa examines the impact of these education projects, the reconstruction of schools destroyed by insurgency, and how the investments are helping to expand access to education across Borno State.
These are some of the newly established and rehabilitated mega primary and secondary schools across Borno State under the administration of Governor Babagana Zulum. The schools are equipped with modern classrooms, libraries, ICT centers, laboratories, and other facilities designed to improve teaching and learning.
School project here.
The projects commissioned by the Minister of Education, Dr. Marufa Lausa, form part of the state government's recovery efforts following years of destruction caused by the Boko Haram insurgency.
Coming of His Excellency, he has revived almost all the schools within the Borno State, most especially looking at this mega school. compare with the past, we don't have enough classes as much. We only have about 12 or 16 classrooms before, but as you can see, we have over 60 classrooms now.
There are about, in series 109, that has been constructed by the Borno State government to create access to education to the less privileged. We have more than 1,600 students for JSS, and we have over 36 teachers that are handling the JSS student. In the other side, the primary sections, which we also have more than 1,300 pupils.
Students say the improved learning environment has enhanced their studies, with adequate facilities, learning materials, and qualified teachers now available.
His Excellency creates a new world for us, a world full with hope, resilience, learning. Now we get a more ventilation. He supports us with his key individual, and we feel that we cannot be established towards appreciation it means. We have more ventilation, computer room, ICT, chemistry lab, and so on.
Thank you for Baba Gana Umara Zoom for giving us enough teachers and ICTs.
Now we have enough teachers, class, and ICT rooms. They are very adequate to us, and teachers, they are teaching us very well.
With continued investment in education, stakeholders believe Borno State is making steady progress towards improving school enrollment and reducing the number of out-of-school children.
Still ahead on the news at 10, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA arrest 2 septuagenarians in Abia State for allegedly dealing in illicit substances and supplying them to teenage students. Please join us again.
In a world full of noise, we bring clarity. And in a time of many questions, we bring answers. From the forgotten crannies down to the futuristic cities. We are bridging the gap, bringing bold voices, betting real solutions. From the streets to the studios, we are redefining the narratives from science, tech, culture, business, and politics. This is more than just a program. This is the heartbeat of innovation. This is The Beam. Join us live every Monday at 2:30 p.m. on The Beam, where curiosity takes us further into the future we desire. See you there.
Are you ready for the thrill, the grit, and the glory? Feel the energy.
This is where legends are born. Every game, every match, every moment.
Witness the passion.
From the court to the track, into the stadium, everywhere in between, we've got you covered.
Celebrate the journey.
It's not just sports, it's life in motion.
This is where every sport comes alive. Your all-access pass to the world of sports. At these times, only on Channels Television.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. The Benue State government has announced plans to begin dry testing of the long-abandoned Taraku mills as part of efforts to revitalize existing factories in the ongoing industrialization target of the Alia administration. The Group Managing Director of Benue Investment Property Company, Mr. Raymond Asemakaha, also disclosed this during the asset audit tour of the 500 billion naira factory with monthly production of 297 metric tons of flour, animal feeds, and vegetable oil.
Mills, located in Gwe East local government, is one of Benue's agro-allied processing factories established by the Aparaku administration in the 80s, but abandoned in 2009 as production was shut down. Officials from the State Ministry of Industry, Trade and Commerce, led by the Group Managing Director of Benue Investment Property Company, Mr. Raymond Asemakaha, are here for an asset audit tour. Equipment worth 2 billion naira supplied are still intact, as the plant engineer gives details of production capacity and what is required to bring the factory to life.
What you have there is you have a maize mill plant that has the capacity to process 120,000 tons of maize per annum. And then the feeds mill has the capacity to process 172,300 tons per annum of feeds. These feeds cut across poultry feed, all classes of animals. All this plant sizing is based on 24 hours by 5 days in a week.
After the tour, the GMD of BIPC speaks on what is required to bring the factory back to life.
Plants that are still brand new, all we need to do is to start something so that we can see what we can do. Because if this plant is running, you see that for every dormant asset is taking away job from our people.
He notes that electric motors and installed equipment are intact, leaving room for key maintenance to bring the factory back to life.
There's no theft. The electric motors and other, we have gone to other government assets like that, they have vandalized. But this community, I think I will also ensure that His Excellency hear about this. The spare parts worth over 2 billion are there.
One of the security guards from the host community highlights the community's effort in keeping vigil against vandalism, as he loads the early administration's attempt to resuscitate the factory.
We will work cordial with these people, security on ground here, to ensure that everything is intact. All the government equipment, all the government facilities are maintained.
Taraku Mills is the third moribund factory the early administration is working to resuscitate in order to create jobs and boost the state's potential in food processing.
The wife of the Abia State Governor, Mrs. Priscilla Oti, has reaffirmed her commitment to empowering women entrepreneurs from across Abia State, describing them as critical drivers of economic development and growth and sustainable development. Mrs. Oti made these remarks during a visit to the Abia businesswomen community in Lagos, where she interacted with business owners, encouraging stronger partnerships to promote enterprise and investment.
Meaningful progress requires partnership. Government cannot do it alone. Today, this is an opportunity to exchange ideas, strengthen collaboration, identify investment opportunities, and explore practical ways Avians in Lagos State can actively contribute to the growth and prosperity of our beloved state. The future of Abia will never be determined solely by those at home. It will also be shaped by the commitment, the vision, and the sacrifices of Abians in Lagos, across Nigeria, and indeed in diaspora all over the world. Let us build stronger bridges between the diaspora and home. Let us invest not only our resources, but our ideas and expertise. Let us support initiatives that create jobs, strengthen families, and improve communities. Let us speak positively about Abia and serve as ambassadors of excellence wherever we find ourselves. Most importantly, let us remain united. For when women unite behind a common purpose, there is virtually no challenge we cannot overcome.
The inaugural African Air Transport Conference and Expo in Lomé, Togo, has closed, with delegates saying that Africa's aviation future depends not only on modern infrastructure, but also on investments in human resources. While Togo's Minister of Transport, Mr. Coleman Luku Kaje, asked stakeholders to turn commitments into action, saying the continent must implement decisions to build a safe and sustainable aviation sector for the continent.
Exposition African.
As the Aviation Conference winds down, this panel here has its topic of discussion as building a new generation of aviation professionals. They're particular about greater investment in mentorship, training, and grassroots opportunities for women and youth.
We have to invest at grassroots level. We cannot wait until university to introduce young people to aviation. We need aviation awareness and STEM programs in schools, integrated into national curricula where possible. If we look at the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration in the US, they have a model where they have already devised a curriculum.
We actually need to put up a package for our instructors, especially the ones that are professional and active. We need to have like a pool where we put them and use them. We can actually use them for mentorship programs.
From capacity building to policy implementation, giving his remark in French, the Minister of Transport for Togo described the conference as a defining moment for African aviation, urging stakeholders to turn commitments into concrete action.
Durant cette semaine, nous avons partagé nos expériences.
I would like to express my sincere satisfaction with the quality of our exchanges and deliberations throughout this period. Our discussions have been constructive, insightful, and focused on the future of African aviation. Together, we have also shared valuable perspectives on how to build a transport system that is safe, efficient, and sustainable for our continent.
In her closing remarks, the Secretary General of AFCAC praised delegates for their dedication to make the 5-day event a success.
Allow me now to thank some special groups of people. I'd like to invite the Director General and the entire team at Togo ANAC, the Civil Aviation Convention.
As the curtains close on the African Aviation Convention, the focus now shifts from declarations to deliveries. Leaders live with a resolve to open African skies and boost connectivity, with the overall goal of creating a single African air transport market. From the Togolese capital, Lomé, Bukola Jo Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime have announced plans to intensify effort to disrupt drug trafficking networks by targeting the financial empires of such cartels across the country. Addressing a joint news conference in Abuja, the secretary to the agency, Mr. Shedrack Haruna, who represented the chairman, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa, says the agency is not only arresting drug traffickers, it is also using the proceeds of crime to trace, seize and forfeit assets suspected to be linked to drug crimes. He also says the agency's war against drug abuse has evolved into a whole of society movement, enlisting communities, schools, civil society groups and other stakeholders.
Issues of illicit drug trade and substance abuse is the focus of this joint news conference by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC.
Thank you very much.
Under the continuous support of the federal government, the NDLEA is adopting new strategies to combat drug abuse.
At the NDLEA, we have long recognized that old strategies cannot solve new problems. Under the continuous support of the federal government and our diverse stakeholders and partners, we have heavily refined and modernized our operations and balanced our enforcement capabilities with aggressive civil advocacy. Our war against drug abuse, WADA initiative, remains our primary vehicle for preventive action, and it has been refitted to address these new challenges by leveraging data, community and innovative public enlightenment tools to protect our youth from falling victim to illicit substances.
With the evolving nature of illicit drug trade, the need for partnership, innovation, and sustained action remains critical to protecting communities and reducing the impact of drug abuse.
As we reflect on this theme today, let us remember, no single institution can address these challenges alone. Progress depends on partnership, shared responsibility and sustained action. The problem persists, but is not insurmountable. The challenges are evolving, but so are our solutions. And our response must be united, informed, and forward-looking.
As the NDLEA strives to arrest substance abuse, the agency is commemorating the 2026 World Drug Day with various activities, including a walk against drug abuse, youth outreach programs, an essay competition, and engagement with civil society groups.
Meanwhile, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has announced the arrest of an 84-year-old grandfather, Godfrey Orji, and 75-year-old Godwin Obiora for dealing in illicit substances, which they sell to teenage secondary school students in Umuahia, Abia State Capital. A statement signed by the Director of Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, says that Mr. Obiora was arrested on June the 19th, 2026, following credible intelligence that he was selling illicit substances to young students and others in his patent medicine store located in Umuahia, where 4.64 kilograms of opioids, including tramadol and diazepam, were recovered from him during the search of his premises. The statement also explains that the second suspect, Mr. Orji, who is a pensioner and into illicit drug trade, was nabbed on June the 18th, 2026 by security guards at St. Silas Secondary School in Old Umuahia for supplying illicit drugs to two teenage students in the school. But the statement says that one of the two teenagers, a 15-year-old SS2 student, claimed that the 84-year-old grandfather supplies him with drugs which he takes to school and sells to students. The statement further says that while the grandfathers are billed to have their day in court, the students have also been placed on counseling and rehabilitation. And now to the arts. The Gemini Art Gallery organized a drawing workshop at the J. Randall Center right here in Lagos. Now, this drawing session saw students, lecturers, and established artists all coming together to draw a muse. We'll see that on Art Review tonight.
Gemini Gallery brings together a dynamic group of artists at the John Randall Center in Oniko, Lagos, for an inspiring drawing workshop featuring some of the industry's brightest minds.
No specific technique to creating a drawing. Sometimes they can be super simple and sometimes they can be extremely detailed, depending on the choice of the person. As a person, I don't criticize how good is somebody's drawing. I've never seen anybody that have a bad drawing here today, so I can only say, what you are doing is good, but I think if you can add this or that to it, you are going to make a whole lot of more sense, because we have more students here than professionals.
During this two-day show, young and old artists, including the facilitators, redefined their pencil strokes, showcasing their prowess in an exercise essential to the artistic craft.
Drawing workshop is something that has been missing in the art sector for a while, and ignorance actually elapsed on it. And we see it, we also see it as a medium to institutional drawing as a sector, because looking at it, drawing is actually the basis of visual arts. All arts, it's a language of lines. So I look at some of our artists, their works doesn't really have life of drawing. So I actually met Mr. Abiodun Laku. We said something similar. Professor Ebon Clark and Yimike Onwuka is in America. In 1 week we speak same language of drawing, and I now see it as a medium where we can start something, even if it's cost effective, but achieving the goal for today is one of my priorities.
The essential nature of line drawing was reiterated throughout the show, helping emerging artists overcome technical constraints.
It's been a long time I've been outdoor and doing a general art drawing. So in the process of drawing this, I felt some additional kind of freedom in the sense that I felt this coolness inside of me, having to sketch and focus more on the model, had to bring in more light and dark and everything, and meeting with other great artists around with me, it has really been very interacting, and I could also learn from other artists too as well. So in the process of drawing all this, it was really exciting. It was exciting. It was elevating too as well.
The workshop served as a fellowship, reuniting veteran and young artists while reigniting creative enthusiasm.
Let's delve into the world of sports now, where Lamine Yamal kick-started Spain's World Cup Group H campaign as he returned to the starting lineup to open the scoring for the European champions in a comprehensive 4-0 victory over Saudi Arabia, and that happened earlier today. The Barcelona star needed just 10 minutes to get Spain up and running against the Saudis in Atlanta before Mikel Brace and Hassan Al-Tabakti own goal ensured the former champions took a big step towards the last 32 following a shot goalless stalemate in the opening group match against Cape Verde. But the Spaniard will now face Uruguay in their final group game. New Zealand coach Darren Beardsley has said he is determined to maintain his side group's grip on the group's G summit as they chase a maiden World Cup win against Egypt in Vancouver. New Zealand are coming off a 2-2 draw against Iran, a result that made it 4 consecutive stalemates after being undefeated run in South Africa back in 2010. Beardsley says that his side must push very hard against the Egyptian outfit that also impressed in a 1-1 draw in their opener against Belgium.
As soon as we were drawn against Egypt, I've got a great team of analysts that do a lot of work. So I know that our analysts have watched Egypt's last 10 games, and then we all watched them play against Belgium. So we know what they've done in the past. We do have that history of playing against them a few years ago. And, I know Salah didn't play that day, but nor did Chris. When we played them in Cairo, and it was a very good game. It was a tight game. We lost 1-0 where we were a little bit, I felt unlucky to lose that day in a good game. But since then we've both had our journeys and our qualification games. So we've watched a lot of them. They're a very good team. Some real strengths, and you got players like Marmouche that have really, kicked on now in his club career and doing great stuff. So it's going to be a challenge, but one that we're not scared of. We're really looking forward to.
Argentina players, including star Lionel Messi, train in Kansas City on the eve of their second game at the J Group against Austria in Dallas. The team's preparation focused heavily on recovery and maintaining their tactical shape following a dominant opening victory. Messi was highly visible in the sessions, taking part in both light drills and team share-out routines, but quelling speculations after his historic hat-trick and a brief period where he trained separately. The Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has reaffirmed the country's commitment and saying it will not be giving up on uranium enrichment, despite being one of the main topics of the U.S.-Iran talks in Switzerland this weekend. During a press public address today, he says Iran's negotiating team should continue talks to strengthen and resolve, while insisting the country will not accept pressure, humiliation, or denial of its rights.
Kisses and hugs to warm the atmosphere as the Iranian delegation arrives in Bergenstock, Switzerland, for talks with U.S. counterparts that will determine whether or not a firm agreement exists between the United States and Iran. The four-way talks involving Iran, the United States, Pakistan, and Qatar are expected to focus on the implementation of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, signed after days of mediation. The talks are expected to focus on unresolved issues, including a regional ceasefire, the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran's nuclear program. Later, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is seen leaving the room following a briefing, which had initially been expected to include a joint handshake and group photograph with all 4 delegations. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf and the Iranian delegation declined to join the public appearance alongside the U.S. team.
These things are always a little bit messy if you go back to how much was happening.
During a press conference a while later, the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance reiterated America's commitment to full regional ceasefire.
The president has committed us to see a full regional ceasefire. We found great partners in working with the Qataris, the Pakistanis, our friends in Israel. We're all working towards regional peace. There, of course, are going to be sometimes disagreements about precisely how to get there.
Mediator Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif expressed his expectations for the meeting.
And I think here we are going to have wonderful discussions which will lead to, hopefully, very productive results in times to come.
Under the deal, Iran was to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Its effective closure had driven up fuel prices and disrupted the global economy. The U.S. had also agreed to lift a military blockade on ships going to and from Iranian ports. The initial deal also included a $300 billion plan for Iran's reconstruction and the U.S. terminating all types of sanctions on it. But the issue of Iran's nuclear program, the main reason stated by the U.S. for the conflict, is still to be negotiated. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says Iran will not give up uranium enrichment, warning the United States and Israel that relinquishing it goes against its national rights. In a briefing on Sunday, the president claimed that the U.S. president had changed his stance on Iran's nuclear program, saying Washington had moved from demanding surrender to recognizing that Iran had rights which could not be ignored.
And the main news again. INEC has declared Biodun Oyebanji of the All Progressives Congress the APC winner of Saturday's governorship election in Ekiti State. And following his victory, Governor Oyebanji has pledged to intensify effort towards delivering greater development and improving the welfare of residents across Ekiti State. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawade. Good night and have a wonderful week.